Good morning to you. So we are now living in what might be the most severe form of fear-mongering than we've perhaps ever experienced. Quite something, isn't it? And I realised how strong and intensified everything was getting yesterday when I just got lost in my head for hours and I regressed to a childlike state and I had a tantrum over something so trivial it scarcely even existed. And I felt overtaken by thoughts, so much negativity, and I experienced a lot of emotions: fear, grief, shame, disgust, disappointment, sadness. The list just goes on. So many emotions on the lower end of the emotional guidance scale, all the way down to number 22, the lowest it gets, powerlessness. So very much experiencing that yesterday. Got well lost in it all. I have a friend who's currently in prison on remand, and he has compulsory TV in his world now, and checked the time this morning and said it's all full of fear. That's what's being pumped out. So here I am on my antidote to all the thoughts I was plagued with yesterday, and I realised that it's worth asking where these thoughts come from. Most likely not from within us, most likely from somewhere else that doesn't have our best interests at heart, let's put it that way. So flooded by an excess of low vibration negative thoughts, lots of heavy negative emotions, full-blown tantrum, getting upset over sod all. Yeah. So here's the antidote. One of the things I realised very recently is that I have never been out into nature as rarely as I am going out now. This might be the first time this week, which for me is like unbelievable. I'm a person that's been out in nature almost every day for such a long time. And then with all the things that's been going on, getting out of the habit, being very unwell for a couple of months as I was discharging a load of negativity, a load of toxins. So what I'm doing now is I'm becoming as present as I can in the nature whilst talking to you about how everything's been, which is a bit of a paradoxical thing to be doing. So I'm standing here and I got my hand on this tree. And this is one of the simplest ways we can connect. The other way of being connecting is through the sound of the leaves rustling as I take a step. Like that. Treading a familiar path. Letting go of what I used to call fear soup, which then became fear porridge, which just lately has become fear tar. Just letting it all go by being out here. So anyone who's watched my output over the last few months knows I've been doing a lot with sound lately, and the sound I'm particularly keen on is the ancient Vedic mantras, because they've been said and sung by an astronomical and mathematical number of people for such a long time. Thousands of years ago, for thousands of years, people have been chanting these Sanskrit mantras, an ancient language, thousands of years old. So we're talking about billions or more people have been chanting these mantras. And the one that I keep returning to is the emergency Ganesh mantra, Om Kshipra Prasadaya Namaha, Om Kshipra Prasadaya Namaha, Om Kshipra Prasadaya Namaha, Om Kshipra Prasadaya Namaha. What I notice is that when I'm really lost in my head, I forget about that. So I forget about the fact that it exists and I can do it. When I get swept away by my... Well, it's the thing, you see. The point I'm trying to make is, where do these thoughts come from? Where do these feelings come from? I would suggest that they are being discharged through us. So we are discharging inconceivably huge amounts of fear at the moment from the masses. That's what we're doing. We're discharging their fear. And this can be experienced as low vibrational thoughts and feelings, and they're not ours, they don't belong to us any more than these trees belong to us, or these blades of grass, or these brambles. None of it belongs to us. We are of nature, and nature is of us. We are one. And the mindfulness is requiring me to make this walk is such a beneficial therapeutic experience. And I feel more connected. The fact that I'm capable of having a thought-like connection. I'm in a very different place from where I was so much of yesterday. So when the going gets really tough, this is one of the most powerful prescriptions. Find somewhere where you can touch plants. Find somewhere where you can be enveloped by their physical presence. Really helps. Something else you can do when there just isn't the time for that, if you can find a little bit of grass, a bit of nature outside, just a bit of lawn, a little tiny corner somewhere, take your shoes and socks off and stand on the bare nature. Stand on the bare grass just for 60 seconds and notice how that feels. Notice how the grounding has returned. And whatever silly thoughts that might have been attempting to possess you are just melted away by the power of the Mother Earth. And I'm really struck by this one. That's medicine for me. That is medicine. And this is what I found last night. When I was lost in my thoughts, it was actually seeing something on a screen that was a forest that helped to bring me back. So may this forest help to bring you back if you're lost in thoughts or feelings. And I want to go up to this one. I want to celebrate the ivy and this magnificent oak. Thank you. And I want to remember to thank my ancestors. Let's remember to thank our ancestors for no matter what they did or didn't do to us or to those of us that we love. The one thing they did do is they did give us life. That's why we are alive, because we have ancestors that gave us life. So that's something to be thankful for. To be thankful for the fact that no matter what is going on, we're here. We are here. And here I go. Sorry about that. A couple more magnificent oaks here. This one has suffered some damage and still it survives and thrives. So this is one of my favourite spots, and I can take myself out here and look at the bigger picture. And be. And if you're having a really challenging time, the one thing you can do, I've just been doing this for my friend in prison. I'm going to send another letter today, and I'm going to put this mantra in it. And when you do this mantra 108 times, it has a really beneficial effect, which cuts through all the bullshit, cuts through all the bollocks, cuts through all the nonsense. And at first I would do this mantra for the removal of a particular obstacle. If I had an obstacle going on, and I've had obstacles going on in the last days, I couldn't get my devices to upload films, and I put my devices on the altar and I did this mantra, and indeed within 24 hours the solution was presented, I took action, and the problem was resolved. So this is for the removal of all obstacles, and the more I do it, the more I realise it's for the removal of all obstacles. All obstacles. Not merely something I might be thinking about consciously at the time, but for the removal of all obstacles. And I know that when I'm doing this, there's a vast number of people doing it at the same time, worldwide, in this particular moment and throughout all other moments. Because there's a lot of people out there who've got a good spiritual awareness, and they are literally keeping us going in these challenging times. So perfectly on cue, a chainsaw. So here we go then. Om Kshipra Prasadaya Namaha. 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 That's 9 times. Now I do 12 sets of 9, that's 108. The number 9 is highly significant, so is the number 12. 12 times 908. That relates to our energy centers, activating them, connecting us with the source, with all that is, with it is what it is. There's a particular book with a title, it's quite an in-your-face title. It's called Loving What Is, and it's by a woman called Byron Katie, And that's the invitation at the moment of whatever's going on. It is what it is. We accept what it is, and finally we can go into we love what it is, because this is our spiritual rebirthing. That's what's going on at the moment. We're all being reborn out of 3G limitations, out of 3D limitations into 5D possibility and reality. And it is so appropriate that everything is being thrown at us at the moment. Even the kitchen sink comes whizzing past at times. These are the times we have waited for so long, and they're now. And by connecting with the nature, thanking our ancestors for our life, being grateful, moving our bodies, giving thanks for whatever it is that we want to give thanks for, doing Om Shipra Prasadaya Namaha, and everything that nourishes and nurtures us. Doing our best, being kind to others, and then when we become nasty to others, realise that we got lost in our heads, apologise, say I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. We've got that one from Ho'oponopono. These are the things. Bring out the heavy artillery at this time. Use your most powerful practices which help you to get through every minute